congratulations, Ms. Barefoot.
Yes,
On being
congratulations.
elected as Triton's Beginning Teacher of the Year. What is one challenge that you faced this year as a new teacher, and how have you worked to overcome it?
I think one challenge for me is learning to let go of some things that I can't control and leaving things and coming back to them later, because as you can see, I have piles and I move them and I want to get everything done because I'm a perfectionist. And so, you know, just letting go of things and going home for the day, remembering it'll be here tomorrow.
Right. If you can give advice to a new teacher who will be starting in August, what would you tell him or her?
Get help. Somebody in your building somewhere can help you with whatever your need is, whether it be the janitor, another teacher. You know, there's a wealth of knowledge in your building, so just ask. Somebody can help you with something.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to ask you 2 questions about your teacher, Miss Barefoot, okay? All right, the first question is, tell us something that you've learned in Miss Barefoot's class.
We learned about Barbados.
Anything else? That's pretty cool, but anything else?
We learned how to use the number line.
Yes, okay.
And we learned about plants, and we planted one.
Very fun.
I like that.
Well, what else did Ms. Barefoot do to make learning fun for you this year?
We actually use number boxes and stuff.
What about you, Brian?
We played like a being a number game where we had to find the answers.
Cool.
You guys are going on any cool field trips this year?
Yes, we went to a field trip in Triton, and what's the name of the place? Camp Agape.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, cool. Thank you for your time, guys.
Good morning. How are you? Congratulations. Thanks for being our beginning teacher of the year. Thank you.
So guys, Miss Graham is the beginning teacher of the year for the Overhills attendance areas. That includes like 6 or 7 schools. So can we?
So, as a beginning teacher, what was one of the biggest challenges that you had this year? And then we'll go to like kind of how you worked through that challenge.
So one of the biggest challenges that I thought I might have when I came in was coming in not at the beginning of the school
Right.
year. So I came in November.
And that's hard, yeah.
So I knew one of the first things I would have to do would be to establish rapport with the class, which is true of any teacher at the beginning of the school year, but also make sure they felt like they could trust me,
Right.
and respect me, because they, you know, had a teacher transition in the middle of the school year. So that was one of my biggest areas that I identified as wanting to work through. As far as how I overcame that, from the beginning, it was just a lot of, right, be honest with me, let's have mutual respect for each other, kind of letting them know that they could trust me and they could tell me when things did not go the way that they knew they should be as responsible students, without the fear of punishment right away. So we really built a lot of rapport and trust that way.
Good. So like relationship building. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have one other question and we'll be on our way. What advice would you give to a brand new beginning teacher coming in August?
What advice would I give to a brand new teacher coming in August?
Yeah. Now that you've walked that road.
Just go for it. You don't know what you don't know. Being lateral entry, I really feel like real life experiences prepared me for a lot of the diversity and different personalities
Absolutely.
and energy levels that I would experience. So if you're lateral entry coming in August, just use what you've already learned from being in the work field. If you are straight out of college, like own it and be confident and don't second guess yourself. There's a lot of trial and error as you go through this.
That's
and
exactly right.
The most important thing you can do is make sure that they feel loved
Yes.
every single day, because
Yeah.
when they feel loved and respected, that relationship is going to get you through the school year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Carol and I both were lateral.
We were laterals.
So you got 3 laterals in a row.
I
So
really
it
feel like
can
that
work.
was an advantage.
It can.
Yeah.
It can
well,
work.
it is an advantage in a lot of ways.
I don't know if this is on the record or off the record, but I don't know. Like, this is really tough. It's a tough thing, and I feel like I've been prepared so well because I'm lateral entry, and because I've moved around and gotten to live in different areas, and then I decided that this is really what I wanted to do.
The life experience does help
It
in the
does.
classroom.
It really does.
Yeah.
And to have a perspective from another occupation sometimes does really help, because
Yeah.
you kind of can work through what you find your gifts are or your calling.
Yeah.
And I thought that my target area would be the middle school ages. So had I gone for it right out of college, I would not have been in the right age group anyway.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so
All right.
journey taught me a lot.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you
Yeah.
for everything you've done this year.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And for working with your students so hard.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All
I
right.
can't wait to see what they have to say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Zach and Micaiah, tell us something that you've learned in Miss Grimm's class this year.
I've learned how to describe the theme of a poem and how to notice it and text and stories.
Awesome. What about you, Micaiah?
I've learned how to pick the best answer and do the runner strategy and story.
How does Miss Grimm make learning interesting and fun?
She puts it into does some competitions with our partners, and she puts them into games and makes it easier for us instead of the regular way, which is we don't really understand it, and we get to move around the room and actually experience it and be comfortable with it.
Okay. Micaiah, did you want to add anything to that about how Miss Grimm makes learning fun?
Well, she makes a lot of charts that are in different perspectives. She made one for an ice cream cone for a summary, and it doesn't make it the boring way, but it makes it a good way.
So boring is no fun, right?
Yeah.
Good job.
All right. Thanks for talking to us today.
Awesome.
All right, good job. All right, here we go. We're getting ready to surprise Miss Tiffany.
I'm so different. Kingston was my friend.
Oh, very cool.
So, congratulations. Did
Thank
y'all know Miss
you.
Hippo was our beginning teacher of the year for this attendance area? Yay! Can you give her all a
Can you guys give her a big round of applause? Yay!
Thank you.
This is for you.
Thank you.
And now we're here with Miss Hippo. Congratulations
Thank you.
for being the beginning teacher of the year for your entire attendance area.
Thank you.
It's a lot of teachers.
It is.
Yeah. Miss Bullock and I are just going to ask you a couple of questions. No pressure.
So, Ms. Hippo, so looking back on your first full year as a teacher, what would you say was one of your biggest challenges?
I think one of my biggest challenges would have been starting the year out, because I did come in the middle of a year. And then so that second full year, it was how do I set up my classroom rather than adopting somebody else's behavior management and things like that. So I would say that just setting everything up and starting the year.
Okay, so what did you do to help you with that? What was one thing you worked through to
I definitely leaned on my mentor a lot
Cool.
and talked with her, Wendy Nash. She was phenomenal and answered every single question I had. I felt like I was asking her 500 a day. But no, she was awesome and just said, you know, sometimes there's going to be things that fail and it'll be okay, and just find a way to rework it or
Very
make it
good.
fit.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good about her.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We love to hear that our
Yes, it's-
mentors are
Right.
very
She's
supportive.
fantastic.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And then just one other quick question. What advice would you give to somebody starting fresh in August? Somebody who's never taught before.
I would say sort of off of what I just said, but don't be afraid to fail at
Mhm.
something, and that's something I try to teach my kids as well, that it's okay that if something doesn't go right, a lesson, or the way that you set up your room, if you have to change it the next day, change it the next day, but to keep moving forward and don't dwell on things that don't work.
Right. Yeah.
Very good.
That's good. I always tell people to have a plan B, C, and D,
Yeah.
and not be committed to plan A.
Right.
You know, you can't be that rigid.
Yeah,
Right.
flexibility
Or-
is really important.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks for
Okay,
taking
all right,
time
thank
to talk
you.
to us.
We appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see you
All right.
Thursday night.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so we're just gonna ask you 2 questions about Miss Hippo.
Okay. So when you think about this year, what was one thing that you've learned in Miss Hippo's class this year?
Long division.
Long division.
We have learned how to use text features.
For me, long division was really difficult when we just started it. Like, we did it like second quarter, wasn't it? But it was really hard for me. I was like, what? When we started it.
Okay. But she helped you.
Yeah, my
learn.
brain couldn't get around it.
Okay, and you were text features. Awesome.
And can you also tell us a little bit about how does Miss Hippo make learning interesting and fun?
Well, yeah, you go.
She gives us goals, and then if we have goals, she rewards us if we meet our goals.
Also, she gives us candy at the end of the day if we behave.
Oh, that's good.
But
Okay.
we don't have enough for the class yet.
Oh, okay.
Because we already ate all of it. Well, we still have like about 12 pieces in the jar where we have 31.
Okay. So can you tell me something fun she does besides candy and?
Well, she gives us deer time is when we drop everything and read. That's what it stands for.
She kind of lets us vote on what we want to do in
Ah,
class.
so some student input.
Absolutely. Good.
Okay, that's good.
That's great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
You did a good job. That's not why we're here?
No.
Well, your teacher got selected as the new teacher of the year for our area.
Hey.
So she's being honored for all of her hard work this year with you guys and the great job that she's doing. We're really proud of her. So give her another round of applause.
Yay.
So we want to ask you a couple of questions today. The first is, what is one challenge that you faced this year, and how did you work to overcome that?
Oh boy. So the biggest challenge is essentially taking 2 classrooms because the other room, the teacher left. So I'm taking that caseload, all of the instruction, and trying to pass it on to that TA. She's phenomenal. She's doing excellent with it. So it's just a matter of me doing all of this and all of that. So that's been a little overwhelming. So.
All right, if you could give some advice to a new teacher that is starting in August, what would you tell them?
Oh, I got a list. Okay, I got a list. Okay, let's start with, the biggest thing is don't be afraid to ask.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to ask. There's veteran teachers in the building for a reason. They know what they're doing for a reason. Ask them. If you're stuck on something didn't work, ask them. I have teachers that get very late night text messages from me. Like, I'm sleeping. Sorry, I'm up worrying about this. Help me. Something especially in this particular classroom is building relationships with them. because they're the most important thing in here. So I have to build that relationship and be able to look at them first thing in the morning and say, you didn't have a very good morning before you got here. Let's fix that. Let's make that better from this point forward. And just, biggest thing is take it day by day. You're not gonna master it overnight. It is not easy. I don't care what they say, it's not. It is not easy. You need to take it day by day. And try not to take it home and let it fester inside of you. Kind of just release it, start the next day fresh. Completely reset, come back, tomorrow's another day. You have a whole nother day to start over and redo what you think may have went wrong the day before.
Thank you.
Alright. Thank you.
All right, Naisha, what do you think that Miss Javens does to make learning fun and exciting?
Like, if we need help, she'll tell us to go to our table and we'll do games with her, and she'll help us.
Good, right?
You have another question, and the other question is, tell us something that you've learned in Miss Javen's class this year.
Draven, you want to go first?
I've learned vision, and I've learned a lot of stuff I can barely remember. So I've learned a lot of stuff. So
I learned math, reading, and